Morning, Drumheads. Welcome back to the show you love the most.
Good evening, Drumheads.
We've got just a couple of us lads here, just having a chat. No guests for you
No
today,
guess.
but
No,
that's all right because there's a lot going on.
there's a lot going on. I thought I was going to have to go to hospital to get kind of revived with the carnage that's ensued for the past week, with everything,
Never a dull
everything.
day for you.
Oh, right. So before we get into things, right?
Yeah,
Big shout out to people. It's a guy called Rab Stoddart. I know he's actually camping out, doing a big sleep out for one of the army charities. They're
yep,
going to camp out. And then obviously I'd like to give a shout out to Who Dares Cares. It's another charity helping people with PTSD. And
yep.
I and another couple of guys are going to do like a kind of stroll through Glasgow, 40-mile walk.
Nice.
So if anybody's out there, and I've already said this online on Instagram or whatever on Facebook, but if there's anybody out there, go on justgiving.org, Just Giving, Who Dares Cares. I'm doing this walk. You need to sponsor me. Give me a couple of quid. And it'll be good. So I think my limit is on my target's 150 quid. And
Yep.
it's a good charity. So
That's a good
there you go.
reminder for me. I'll see if I can
Charity.
sling a
It's
few Aussie bucks your way. Hey?
26th of April, I'm doing that. So I'll be away in America. We'll talk about that later, but then I come back. And the next thing I'll be looking at is obviously doing this kind of stroll with the other troops
Good on you.
for charity. And then, that's me. And other shout out I've got is Willie Laird that was on the phone to me last night, giving me handheld information, which I'll discuss on the show as well. It's quite handy.
Nice.
And your wee man Brownlee came second at this
Yep.
drum and solos at a competition on Northern Ireland. Well done to him. I heard him, and every time I hear him, it just makes me feel like burning my drumsticks.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
obviously this wee guy's destined for big things, and I'm destined for the bin. So,
Which is
on the
not so bad.
on the one hand, I'm celebrating his genius, his great performance. On the other hand, it's reminding me how rotten my performance is. So it's like a yin yang thing, isn't it?
The future's bright when you're looking from a little dark corner.
I suppose does every kind of musical genre do this, where they look at the young and gifted, and then there's the old and bitter.
Yeah.
This
is the way it's supposed to go.
He's an old and bitter guy. He was rubbish.
That's how you know it's working.
Exactly. So, no, well done there. Congratulations.
Nice.
Anyway, moving on.
So we're both trying to learn our drum score veterans scores.
Yep.
Right. Which has just taken up all my life at the moment. Right. And I'm sure it's taken up yours.
So it should.
But I know you've got a lot. You got some bigger fish frying on the side there, buddy.
I've got an insane kind of setup where I'm trying to balance doing the band, organising the band, doing things to do with that, then worrying about the music for the band, then obviously running after Happy Meals, insane wee kind of beatings and tropes that he throws out for the Edinburgh Military Tattoo Pipe Band to go to America. There's all that kind of stuff. Juggling that, meanwhile, back at the ranch.
Just band stuff alone.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Snare Force One coughed along on the way out of Edinburgh, right, to get my boy, to bring him back over to the West Coast to pick up his vehicle that I just fixed the clutch in. So it was like double destruction in one night.
So the clutch, so your son's car's clutch busted.
Yep, gone.
You fixed it.
Yep.
And then now Snare Force One's gone.
And as I was going to pick him up the Wednesday night, kaboom. I was like, I thought I hit a cone or something like that. I was like, what's that? Went out, checked it out. No, it's fine. Drove into Edinburgh, straight road. When I came off in Edinburgh, drove around a wee bit, and then I started hearing the steering going. I was like, that's not right. Checked it out. Then it was spring hanging down.
Oh, man.
You're getting towed out here, young man. I was like, no way.
Oh.
So, and I camped the night in the van on the Wednesday night. Then went to work. Because it took me. It was long and painful. So here's the point.
Through it, buddy.
When I was through in Edinburgh, I bumped into a guy called Gary Riley.
Yeah.
Right. Gary Riley's a drummer with Five Polis. Now, this isn't a Five Polis conspiracy. It's just that I happen to know and bump into folk from time to time that happened to be in Fife Polish, right? That's it. It's as big as it gets.
Yeah.
So this guy, Gary Riley, I was talking about, I mean, we were just talking about drumming, we were talking about pads, and that's how I posted a wee picture about the pad. It's like a kind of a small pad. It's called the pocket pad.
Yeah, true.
However,
yeah,
it's like an Australian thing.
yeah, I know.
All right. So the pocket pad, which I liked.
I like them. I like the way they sound.
However,
Ooh.
here's its minus point, right? The Go pad is roughly the same size as the pocket pad. I like the pocket pad, right? I'm not saying I don't like it. The Go pad, however, because of the wood on the Go pad, I'm not going to hear the hand, it's in my work, but because of the Go pad is slightly larger in diameter, it means that when you're sitting down, you can put it on your knees and still play. You can't do that with the pocket pad because it's too wee.
Yeah.
So I think the Go pad.
Bent.
So as a wee pad goes, for me, again, tick, Go pad. Go pad. Love it. Yeah. Great sound, great response, lovely clean tone. However, when I was talking to the guy, Gary Riley, he was like that to me. We're sharing stories and all that, and he was telling me a story about, he goes, I was through seeing Jim Kilpatrick. And I was like, all right. He says, and I was asking him about his KP3 drumstick. And I was like, oh, aye. He says, because I wanted like a thicker, heavier drumsticks, because there's not much kind of ergonomic shape difference to the KP2.
Yeah.
And I was like, right, keep going with this. The end mind. And he was like, he went, well, I wanted a heavier stick. I says, heavier stick? What for? And he was like that because I was talking to Arthur Cook once. And Arthur Cook says he likes playing with a heavy set of sticks as his warm-up sticks, then switch fire, boom, on his light sticks.
Yep.
Now listen, I'll be 100% honest. That was the first I heard of that. And everybody was like, no, he must have heard of that before. And I'm like, genuinely, first time I've heard of that, right? And I was like, right, okay, I'm walking through the woods with this story now, right? And I'm like, right, so run this by me. He's like, so what I like to do is I warm up with the heavy sticks. I was like, oh, all right. So my windmills in my mind starting to think, I'm like, okay, I can buy into this. And then I was on the phone to Willie Laird last night. Big fan of the show. And he's like, I've been doing that for years. And I'm like, is this some sort of secret, the Illuminati drummy? The drum Illuminati?
Yeah.
Where only people talk about it that know? Because nobody's mentioned. I mean, maybe everybody's like, you're rubbish anyway, it wouldn't make much difference to you, so don't even going to tell you that. But
no, man, that's a real thing.
Obviously it is.
Over in drum kit world, there's you can play with like, I was going to say they're lead, but they're definitely not lead. I think they're like aluminium or something, whatever. They're like just pure metal sticks, and you just do your diddles in them before you switch over to your wood, and your hands just start flying. Apparently,
right. Listen to this, right? So I was talking to Willie Laird about it last night. I was like, blah blah blah. Recanted the same story. He's like, well, I've been doing it for years. He says, I've got a pair of Agner top secret drum corps sticks that I use as my warm up sticks. Right?
Yeah.
Wait for it. 83 grams.
Okay.
And I'm like, wow, I'm a 56 gram guy.
Yeah.
Right? So for me, that's really, really heavy, right? And he's like, I'm 56 grams again all day on a Sunday. He says, but 83 is my heavy stick. He says, don't get me wrong. He says, playing the stick, the 83 gram stick, the Agner ones. He says, after playing with them, he says, I leave them, leave the room, go for a cup of tea or something like that. He says, yes. And have a soak period. He says, because your hands are a bit mashed after using it. He says,
it feels real awkward.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
And I was like that. Imagine the 83 gram sticks on the off-world, big, heavy, like kind of hard response pad, where 83. I mean, I could maybe kill you. That would maybe actually skin you alive. 83 grams, the whole parts of Cameronian Rant, Strathspey, right? It's something like 14 parts or something like that. There's 20 million parts to that tune, right?
Yeah.
You're like that. By the time you got to the 10th part, you'd probably need taken away by an ambulance to get resuscitated
Yeah.
or something like that.
The,
And then, so my point is,
yeah.
it's obviously a lot more common than what I'm aware of, right? So cards on the table.
Mhm.
I've never done it. But it makes me think, I wonder. So he was also saying that, Wally was saying that his young kids, the kids his tutors not, are they all do it as well? They play a heavy set, then they go away out, go for a toilet break or something, they come back in, and then they use their light sticks.
You can get those American style sticks just like from Vic Firth or whatever, and they're a bit more, like
meat on the bone.
You can use them, but I got these. Well, they Schleebach they're from Basel.
Oh, wait a minute, we should have got Heather in here, the German speaker. She'll be like, it's Schleibach.
It's Schleebach.
Schleibach.
So yeah, if you go to Basel, that's obviously the thing to do, right? You grab some of the native sticks because they were born for it, right? And then, but these are too awkward, man. I can't even do it. I can't do it because you're doing that pipe band technique and you're using using your fingers a lot more and stuff. That's crazy. That's just your hands will be
well, listen, and this is the other thing. So the same vein,
yeah.
He's like, what about? He's like, certain drummers he was mentioning, Andy Scullion, he says, used to use cricket balls and squeeze cricket balls to increase his strength in his fingers.
Squeeze cricket balls?
Yeah, obviously didn't he squeeze? What? He's not the Incredible Hulk.
Destroying them.
Oh, bring me another cricket ball. No. He was saying that obviously just the texture and it's a solid object and it's round and he was squeezing them to get like
resistance,
the strength resistance, right?
Yeah.
And then you get the other ones, the ones that we've all seen. You kind of, you kind of pump them. It's just kind of two bits, right? Two grips.
Yeah.
Then, so my question to people out there is, please let me know because I want to know. Do you actually do the kind of grip thing for the fingers? Do you actually employ some sort of strategic grip, increase power, strength, strengthening technique? Do you just solely use your rudiments, or do you actually do things like say, right, no, I'm actually going to do strengthening technique? And here's the thing. So like young guys like Kerr McCollum, etc., right? Do they do this kind of thing? Are they see, this is the thing, it's hard to get an honesty from. Or do people just start saying, I do that, I do it 50 of them a day in each one and all? You know what I mean? Or is there a genuine thing here where people say, do you know what? I actually want to strengthen my wrists, strengthen my forearms, strengthen my finger to improve my technique. No, because Kerr used to be a football player.
Bit of training.
So I'm wondering if he's into that kind of thing.
Yeah.
We'll need to ask him. I never watched the interview with the Big Rab Show, but seemingly he's on it.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's a valid question.
It's true, Drumheads. You should let us know what your little sort of pre-game techniques are, and don't be shy. Tell us. We need them.
Exactly. Or maybe it's one of these things that it's just like urban spoken myth.
Yeah.
Where people talk about it, right, and they get that kind of spin where they go, "Oh, he's a great drummer. He crushes cricket balls with his elbows and all."
Yeah.
Do you know, is it like one of the things where they just make up stuff and he never goes on with it drinking 2 raw eggs and the Rocky theme comes on. He's up at 4 a.m.
He splits about 4 apples in half before he goes on the green.
No, right. So I want to know this.
Yeah, nice.
Which nicely leads me on to, right, the same thing. I get sent a video, right, by Willie Laird after that conversation with the Paradiddle Challenge.
Yes. Tell me more.
So the Paradiddle Challenge, he's like, did you see this guy? There's a guy on YouTube, right?
Yes,
and he's trying to do like 300 beats per minute.
SDJ Malik. He lives over in Japan. American core drummer guy.
That's the guy.
Yeah.
The way. That's the very chap. And what's his name again? SDJ Malik.
SDJ Malik.
SDJ Malik.
Yeah.
Aye, right, okay, that guy. So he's at 300 beats. He's like that. He's going up the beats per minute, and he's obviously trying to crush or put in his paradiddles.
Yeah.
And Wally sent me a video last night, him doing it, and he's got 220. I tried it the night. I'm not going to lie to people, man. 190, which is quite. My wife was like, "You're not really a drummer, eh?" I'm like, that anymore, can you? And by the way, I think Wally used his Agner sticks. I think he used his heavy sticks when he was doing it.
That might be a bit of a hack to it because they're heavier. You can get those doubles in a lot smoother.
Well, and I thought I'll not be using an off-world pad for that. I'll be using the thickest, softest rubber that I can find.
Yeah,
probably. Some with the biggest response. Some it's dead bouncy. Like, this is not a bad mouth, right? But Flam 5's pads quite responsive, I think. So I'll pick that, or I'd pick the El Chico pad, which I like, right? I've really got a soft spot for that Pro pad I bought, by the way.
Yeah,
I have got a soft spot for that. Right. So
if you're going to do it, Andy, you've got to try it with some heavier sticks, right? On your off world, right? Something responsive.
Right, here it comes, yeah.
That'll give you a chance. That'll give you a fighting chance. And
then that's the warm up, and then boom, won't you?
Yeah. And then
after the coffee break.
That's right. Yes. Don't go straight into it. You'll strain yourself.
Right. So
stick that on the Drum Score Chips, the Facebook page.
And let's see what we get.
All the Drumheads too. I'll give it a go, man. I'm not optimistic. I've been trying to do this for since I picked up drumsticks.
Do you know what really annoys me, right? Is this show is a constant experiment in how we can bait ourselves.
Yeah, well.
It's like two guys going, oh, how can I embarrass myself? What can I do that'll shine a light on how poor I am? Oh, I know what we'll do. We'll try and do that thing, the beat per minute with the paradiddle. That's happening, by the way. I'll probably do that tomorrow.
We welcome pelters, but I'm actually scared now because this is
gonna be bring the pelters and I'll deny it all, but no, I've done that on purpose to make people feel better about themselves.
Yeah.
Because I'm giving. I could have done it at 300 beats per minute, but I chose 190 because
I didn't have the heavy sticks. So.
I'm the bigger guy. Making yous look good. So it'd be interesting to see what kind of speeds we can get. That guy was good, and he had the thing where he could slow down his paradiddles. You could hear he was playing paradiddles.
Yeah, he is. He's been challenged on that many times. So he's got the slow mo.
He's good.
Yeah,
but it'll be interesting to see what can come up. And I challenge folk like your bigger end fish, like your Kells.
Oh, it's just too easy. It's just too easy. For them. These guys are laughing at us. These pipe band goals.
Listen, I don't know. I'm throwing the gauntlet down because it doesn't necessarily equate that you're a good drummer because you can thrash out paradiddles at 300 beats per minute. That doesn't mean you're a good drummer. That just means you're good at paradiddles at 300 beats per minute.
Yeah, well, yeah. But if you can differentiate them from just doing doubles. If you can change it and you're actually doing paradiddles.
It shows a strength and dexterity.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily reflect the fact that if you went on the drum, you'd play me a blinding MSR and be like,
Can you groove it though?
That's great. But you know what I mean? It's like, so I think it's just a show of strength. It's a bit of kind of, what's the one like for? It's like one of the things at the carnival where the ball comes down and you punch it.
Yeah.
And you're like in front of in front of your bird or your wife, you're like, check me out. Like, I floored that. You know what I mean? Or maybe not. Maybe you're like me and you're like, right, there's something wrong with the machines, man.
It's all legit. It's all a big just scam.
It's to make you put more money in.
But this is somewhat like that, but it's nothing like that in the sense there's no prize here. Your prize will just be pelters from the crew.
Well, wait a minute. Is there any prize? I don't know if it was definitely impressive enough. I think I could maybe throw out a t-shirt.
Let's do it. Let's give him a t-shirt.
I mean, let's face it. We gave Ronnie Toll a t-shirt and a beanie hat for just coming up with the name Snare Force One. He didn't even need to do a paradiddle for it. Never mind one at 300 beats per minute. So we need.
The drum score chips Facebook page. Send in your fastest BPM of you doing paradiddles. They have to be paradiddles, not doubles, and you'll get a t-shirt. It may not be a size.
Go ahead, paradiddles. Go ahead, paradiddles, and you'll get a t-shirt. We will give you a tee. If we say
Lovely.
that, we will do that, right?
Done.
So that was that. Paradiddles aside, another complex thing that happened this week was the RSPBA registration. So the band's registered, right?
We're in.
Hear me out, right? Yeah. We've got a real number and everything, right? Like we said. But we yet have to pay for the registration, right? We've not paid for the registration yet, but we have now. I'll explain the story. So I went on and I sent an email saying, look, where do you pay? And the guy says, so the pay and the fees page on the thing. It honestly was driving me insane, right? And I mean insane. Now, everybody that knows me knows that I'm not really a patient guy, right?
I think you're patient, but with the tech stuff, I can just.
The worst thing was it was at my work, and I actually thought at one point I was going to destroy my works property through my own rage, right? So I'm looking at this page. Here's my point, right? For anybody that wants to know, that really cares, right? If you're going to register a pipe band, there comes a bit you're going to have to pay for it, right? Now, if you think about going to pay your gas bill or pay your lecky bill or pay a car finance or something like that, right? The top right corner, there'll be a wee drop down menu or a drop left, a wee drop down menu, say pay here. You go to that, right? And there'll be like your bank details.
Yeah.
Right?
They make it easy for you, right? They want the money.
They want the money, right? They want the cash. And it'll say, you owe us this amount, right? And it'll be the amount, and then it'll say your bank details here, go into the bank details there or whatever, right? And then you put in your bank details to their page.
Yeah.
And then it'll go away and it'll go, right, there we go. Right, well done, it's cleared, that's paid, right? But that's not the way they do it. They do it a kind of mad way, right? You go into their page and it tells you all about if you're in a foreign country, you pay this amount. If you're in a home country, you pay this amount.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the amount you're going to pay. So you're like, right, I think I'm due this amount. So you've worked that one out. And then you read and it tells you all about the bylaws and da-da-da. And there's all this information on there, right? And you're reading through it and you're going, but where do I pay? Where do I pay? Right?
Here's my money. Take it.
I'm sitting here with a card, burning a hole in my pocket. By the way, I'm no wanting to pay. It's got a knock-on effect because we've stopped. It's only yesterday that we've got the actual charity, the community status bank account, right?
Yeah.
So the mad thing is I know that by me paying personally, right, this is going to be a problem for me to get reimbursed, right?
Right.
Because it'll be like the charity account or the community account, paying Andrew Laird and everybody be like, well,
I'll do it. I'll do it some time later, yeah.
So I'm like that. So really, I know I'm slicing my own throat with doing it, but I'm like, no,
for the greater good.
For the greater good, times of the essence. Let's get this done. So I'm like that, looking through, and eventually I'm like, right, this has got to stop. So I sent the email back to the guy at RSPB, and she's listen, I've got a hole in my pocket here with this money burning, waiting to pick. Where did I do it? And then she says, oh, you've got to scroll down to the bottom of the page, and there's a wee box, right? Now, this is genuine, right? So if anybody's going to do this, and I was speaking to somebody else about this just recently in the last 48 hours, I was speaking to somebody about this, and they says, what do you have to do? And I tell them. I says, you need to look for this. I says, only once you've done it will it be crystal clear. But before you do it, it will cause confusion. And I was like, so you scroll down the page and there's a square box, but the square box could look like just a graphic. It doesn't look like a box that would be an active box. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It just looks like a black rectangle, as if somebody couldn't be bothered filling in a graphic and there's a black rectangle at the bottom of the page.
Yeah.
Anyway, in there goes your band registration number. Okay. And when you put that in there and then press sanction or okay or whatever, it then comes up to your band name and then it tells you, right, this is what you've no paid. And then you go, all right, I want to pay. And then it goes through and then it loads up. But I just thought, my whole point is I'm not a tech person. So if I find something difficult, that probably means that it's not suitable for the vast majority of people that are going to be involved in this sort of thing.
Yeah. You're the person that tech people should be. It's not the 16-year-old guy with the iPad or the iPhone that's going to be cutting about doing this.
it's going to be the 50-year-old guy. Oh yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll look after that for the band. I'll get that boy. I've done that for you boys. Right? It's going to be that guy, not the wee guy that's tech savvy. Right? Anyway, so I'm like that. Once I've done that, happy days. But I thought, would it not make sense if you just had a page and it says fees and registration, and it had just like a page 1 dot you have done this, tick, page 2 dot you have done this, as opposed to telling you about it, just like a pages that just sanction bit by bit.
It's like it seems like dealing with the RSPPA is like from over here. It's like this kind of magical mage person, and he gives you riddles and stuff to like.
Do you know what? And to be
things.
no, to be fair to them, they've been helpful. If I ask a question, people have been reflective back and says, "No, it's this." So I'm not complaining about that. I just thought, well, can we not do it? Would it not be better if it was just simpler and then you wouldn't need to ask folk? And then the other one is the band registration thing. So I paid the band registration in order that I feel as if that's one thing done. I still need to load into the pot the people that are in the band to have them registered, because the thing that I'm really wanting to hurry up is to get us graded.
Yeah, we're still sitting
in the unknown.
We're in limbo,
I think it's going to be grade 3-ish, A, B, right? I think that's what it's going to be, but that's where I think we're sitting. But what do I know? So the bottom line is I'm trying to get things, and this is another thing, getting my ducks in a row.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking at
the process of
the person coming off the street, actually doing this that's never done it before. For me, it seems a bit. But then folk will be like, yeah, that's because you've just got the mental IQ of a crayon. So, we can't account for that.
Maybe it's not supposed to be easy, lad. This is part of the, This is
the fun. This is the joy.
That's what, enjoy it.
So, how to pay? Well, I've paid. Now, it's probably going to cause me a lot of inconvenience the way I've paid, because I've done it through my credit card, but we're going to see how that works.
Everyone's on notice. Send that. Transfer over to Andy.
And everybody that's watching this, it's in the band. Pay attention. It's done. That's the reason it's done.
Mate, so that's a lot that's been going on for you over there, mate. I really feel for you.
Listen, do you know that's half of it? There's obviously I've got work, like my day job and stuff going on in the back.
Forget all about that
as well.
Forget all about that.
I'm like, I'm going to have to go A&E. Heart palpitations.
So what's happening? Are you going on some sort of holiday next couple of days then, or what?
Right. Listen, this is another thing, right? Don't even use the word holiday, right? Don't, right? Because I said aye to something, right? I'm a kind of yes guy. If by and large, if somebody says, I'll be like, aye, that's a good idea. So, as you know, the Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo Pipe Band is going over to do the Washington Tattoo, which is good, right? That's a great thing. And then they're going to go to New York and do Tartan Day Parade, right? And we had Michael Eagle on the show.
Yes.
And I was like, and he's actually going to be there. So it's good. I'm going to get to see him in person, and that's all fantastic, right? But the worst thing is MD can actually misconstrue this as some form of holiday, right? Because trust me, I know for a fact, it's like you get off the plane and you'll be getting rinsed out for stoning about and playing and walking up and down and playing. And then on the plane, did you like that? Aye.
Yeah.
It's a kind of up tempo. Obviously, it's a different environment, right? Obviously, that's part of the joy. Part of the joy playing with other people and all that.
That's great. The best bit. That's the best bit,
right? And then obviously, you're getting that kind of different experience. And not everybody's going to get that experience, right? Yeah. So the Washington Tattoo, never done it, never been to Washington. So the bottom line is that's a new venture for an old guy. So yeah. I'm looking forward to that, right?
That's cool.
But you've got things like, other members of the household thinking, that's him away for a wee holiday. Well, there's no holiday in it.
Yeah, go easy.
I mean, you're busy.
You try and learn these scores then, eh?
And there's the other thing. You've got Happy Meal coming out with mad stuff for something that's getting played mega up tempo. You're like, here, come here to tie your horns in or not.
Yeah.
So
the fans will love it though. The people. It's for the people, mate.
It's for the folks, isn't it?
That's
It's for
it.
them, for their enjoyment.
So
So I'm looking for. I'm looking
you got to
forward
get
to
off
it.
all these scores to go to USA.
Yeah, and I've got them off. You know what I mean? But that
Are
was.
they in your head though? Are they like?
They're
Are
in,
they in there?
they're in there, right? So
Good.
that's the other thing, right?
Oh,
So
that's
they're in
good.
my head. The MSR isn't in my head for the band because I've been too busy putting that stuff in my head. No, the band's MSR,
Yeah.
which I'll fixate on when I'm in America and then coming back, and then that's it. It's all the band all
And
the time.
all that America stuff will just be gone.
It'll just
You
be
just push that out.
in the bin. So somebody could literally come back to me 2 weeks later and go, "Do you remember that?" I'll be like, "No, what is that?" They'll be like, "You played that for about 2 weeks." I'm like, "No, I didn't." They're like, "You did." I'm like, "No,
What's that photo from 2 weeks ago?
don't
Or
know,
was it?
don't know
Oh,
anything about it." But genuinely, it's just like in for the process,
yeah.
done, then next thing,
Yeah.
100%. I could, in fact, you know what? I was talking to Gary Riley when we were talking about the pads and talking about the sticks, and talking about the weight. We were talking about this, and we were talking about like memory retention. I think we spoke about this on the show before, right? Where obviously as you get
I wouldn't
older,
remember.
well, yeah, I forgot. But,
I'm sure we talked about it, but I forgot.
but what I was going to say is that he was saying the same sort of thing that obviously as a younger guy, and you were a drummer,
Yeah.
somebody would show you something and go, it's like this. And they would play you maybe a couple of parts and you'd be like, right, I've got that.
Yeah.
And then you maybe a couple of run throughs and you're like, boom, we're on, right? No. That is name my vocabulary now. It,
If
it,
that
it needs to be well prepared. Or
if that's
else
how it is for you, that like I'm worried for myself because it's honestly, if I get given a new score, my approach is right. I'm getting this in my head to the point I'm thinking about it day and night, and it's there. And you just tapping, even though you'd be standing at the shops and you're just tapping it away,
it's right.
the
Yeah,
same score.
100%,
You get it to
100%.
that point where you're just sick of it now. I never want to hear it again, and all you
I
can do
think
is hear it
I
again.
think you've got to get it to the point where you don't remember it, but you know it.
Yeah, that's right.
If that makes sense.
It's
So
left your head, and it's
it's
now in your
actually,
body.
it's just actually, it's there. It's
It's
just at
in
the end of
you.
your fingertips. You're not even
Yeah,
actually thinking about it. You're probably thinking about, I don't know, buying the milk or something like that. You're
yeah,
like,
yeah,
playing it. But and it's one of the things. Only people that have done it know. Them
yeah.
that are trying, it's about, and then a weird thing. This is a weird thing, and I don't know how people, because you know how people say if you remember, you know how people say don't try and remember lists, remember colours, or remember something
Yeah, your
which remember
associations. Yeah,
your associations, right?
yeah.
The weird thing is, I don't know if other people do this or not, right? When I'm remembering music, I remember shapes. So it's
Yeah,
right. So it's not like triangles or stars, right?
yeah.
It's like I I can see the shape
I know
of the
exactly
music.
what you're talking about.
Does that make sense?
When I was
And it's
learning,
no the
when I
piano.
was,
You going to say
when, yeah, you know about this. When I
no?
was,
That's just not you learn the piano.
oh, right, what the hell? When I was learning piano as a wee lad, I would tell my piano teacher, I remember this section here as an apple. And she was like, right. So she got these little stickers, a sticker pack of all these fruits. And and I'll be like, yeah, well, this section here is like an orange. And she put the orange sticker on it, and that's it. Like, and I would just go apples, pears, oranges. And it was just I don't know what that was.
See, that's weird. I don't have a shape that I could describe.
Huh?
So my thing about music memory, right,
Yeah.
is that it's not like I don't go, oh, the next bit's a flam, right? Or I don't go, the next bit is a square.
Yes.
It's almost like if you to take the drum score
Yes.
and then like, can I imagine the shaped pattern of what the score would look like, but not the
Oh,
dots. And
just
it's
just a
kind of
clump of just
aye,
as like a
aye, like that. And
wow.
then I'm on like almost like you know when you see the sound when you
Yeah, like
speak
a
the
sound
sound.
wave. Yeah, sound wave. Yeah, yeah.
Aye, so in my head, my mind remembers it like that bit.
Wow.
which is I think that's the closest. It's not what it is, but it's the closest way that I can explain the visual memory
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
That's the way.
When I was watching you play and you just played something for the first time and you were like, well, that's how I see it. And I was like, well, that makes a lot of sense, but why can't my brain do that? It's just I just
I don't
can't.
think I think it just demonstrates how everybody's mind kind of slightly differs.
Yeah.
I don't because so some people and this is the other weird thing is right. So is drumming learning by rote? You know how like so for instance, people say you learn something by rote. You know the times table, two twos,
Yes, yes,
like
yes, yes,
such and
yes.
such, right?
Just
And then
drill it in there.
and then so drumming is that the absolute epitome of learning by rote, where you need to constantly repeat the piece over and over and over again, or are there drummers out there that don't and they just like kind of twice through type thing,
Just get the gist of
and
it.
then they've got what it is. I
Yeah.
don't.
I know the
That's,
first one is definitely how I approach it. It's just get it in there until it's there. Just
I pulp
drill it
my
in.
brain and I pulp it in. Just keep smashing it in.
Just-
Just squeeze it in there. If it means you've got to forget your own home address,
yeah.
get it.
Andy, give me a hand here. I can heave this in.
You're like, what date's your daughter's birthday? I don't know. But I'll tell you one thing. Got that fourth part off
I got the MSR going.
in there.
So if anybody's like, "Oh, Jason, you forgot my like birthday," you know what I mean? That's
You just
why.
say that. I might have forgot your birthday, but listen, you'll be thankful because you want to hear the MSR I've got. I'll play that for your birthday for you. A belated birthday present. Happy birthday.
There you go, drummers. Let us know if you've got your own weird method. It's like if you got some kind of genius
So,
approach that you never knew. You're like a bit of a
so as we
rain
come up,
man.
yeah. So as we come up to the end of this kind of, I don't know, intermittent show, here's what I perceive happening. So if I could maybe get some time of, we could maybe do something when I'm over there in America.
Yeah.
Probably the weekend. I think there's like a down day on the Sunday or something like that, or a travel day. There might
Yeah.
be some way that we could do a kind of quick link up, but I'm trying to work out times.
Take your kit
So
with
we're
you.
like
I
5
think
hours
America's a little
behind.
bit better
Is it?
time wise for us. Yeah. Not sure.
Well, we could maybe do that. I've also going to hopefully meet your man Michael Eagle
Yeah.
face to face. So that'll be
Yep.
quite interesting.
Look, just
Um,
some evidence of you being there. Just that it's
well,
actually happened.
I need to take him the blooming t-shirt, don't I? That's no get guest on it. And that was another thing that I never get. I know. I know.
Ah.
There's a million and one things that's not been done, but there's a million other things that have been done.
We
Which
need we need like a full team of people to run this show. Really, it's too big.
we need a PA, don't we? We need somebody that goes on another thing. You need to do this. But another thing, when's that statue getting built? You're like, don't mention the statue. No, they
We
do.
need like a front facing PR sort of public relations, just keep things chill. Merch division.
Merch division. I like that.
It's a worldwide operation.
Right,
So
so that's pretty much for the show. A couple of kind of challenges for the drumheads. Let us know
yeah.
what we want to know because we do want to know.
Yes, we do.
And hopefully we'll catch you some time in the short period when I'm in America.
Nice. Cheers for tuning in, drumheads.
Listen, have a good one. Hopefully I'll have a safe flight. I hate
Yeah.
flying.
Really.
Right, anyway.
Catch ya. Drum on.
Catch you.